Now next approach is chiral auxiliary. So chiral auxiliary is nothing but chiral molecular unit that can be temporarily incorporated into the achiral substrate to guide selective formation of one of the possible pair of enantiomers. We'll see how chiral auxiliary is work. Chiral auxiliary are generally optically active compound and introduce the chirality in otherwise achiral substrate material. Now, what is use of chiral auxiliary? So, chiral auxiliary itself is chiral in nature. If our substrate or if our starting material is achiral in nature, so the main application of chiral auxiliary is to produce chiral center in achiral substrate, and then after chiral auxiliary can be removed from the substrate and it can be reusable. So it is a based approach for asymmetric synthesis. These two are the example of the chiral auxiliary generally used for the synthesis. Now, how chiral auxiliary is act? So your substrate is prochiral, that means achiral. When we use chiral auxiliary, so that is both are joined together, join substrate, that means prochiral substrate and chiral auxiliary both are joined together. Then after react at prochiral substrate, chiral auxiliary that react at prochiral substrate to produce the chiral center. So once it produce chiral center, then prochiral substrate that is converted into the modified substrate that is again attached with chiral auxiliary. And then after, if we can remove the chiral auxiliary and isolate the modified substrate, so here chiral auxiliary is removed and we can get the modified substrate. Now these modified substrate, it is a chiral product. In prochiral substrate there is a no chirality center. By this way we can introduce the chirality in achiral substrate and that will become a chiral one by using chiral auxiliary approach, and it is again reusable. So it is a most efficient and most economic technique to convert the prochiral substrate to modified substrate. One example is there. This is called chiral auxiliary by using N-butyl lithium. So this is a propanoic acid by using PCl4 that is converted into the propanoyl chlorides. So H is removed, N-butyl lithium. So here hydrogen proton is removed, here chloride is removed. So total HCl is removed and this whole group is attached with amine nitrogen. So secondary amine that is converted into the tertiary amine. Then by using lithium diisopropylamide, so here whatever doubly bond is there, it is directly linked with lithium atom that is converted into the Z enolate, because of here there is a double bond and here the group bulky group which are on same sides. Then after by using benzyl iodide, so what happen, addition kinds of reaction is taking place. Well, iodide is removed and benzyl group is attached at these carbon and the chirality is generated. Now if you look at here, this is called a chiral substrate, and how we can develop or how we can generate the chirality in a chiral substrate. And then after by using lithium hydroxides, it is a kinds of base under hydrogen peroxides. So the bond between these two atoms, carbon and nitrogen, it is a breakdown, and this chiral auxiliary that is separated out, again we can use same chiral auxiliary for another kinds of reactions, and by these way from propionic acid we can convert the chirality at second number of the carbon. So by this way we can use the chiral auxiliary to generate chiral product. This is another example. It is a well-known example of asymmetric synthesis of an anti-epileptic drug. The name of the drug is levetiracetam. It can be synthesized based on chiral auxiliary approach. So this is the same chiral auxiliary that we use in previous reactions. Here same reaction is there, but instead of propyl group, here we are using chloroacetic acid, and here dichloroacetic acid are used. And again this dichloroacetic acid react with secondary amine by using n-butyl lithium, that is converted into the tertiary amines, by using sodium hydride, that is act as a base, and pyrrolidine 2-on reagents. So this chloride is removed and this pyrrolidine 2-on, that is attached at here. So here again chloride from here, H plus from pyrrolidine 2-on. So proton is removed from here, and then after lithium diisopropylamide by using methyl iodide. In previous reaction we had used benzyl iodide, here we are using methyl iodide. Again at these position chirality is produced because this is called acidic proton, so it can easily remove and this ethyl group can easily attach. So alkylation is occurred at this position, and then after same reagent we are using to remove the chiral auxiliary from the modified substrate. So lithium hydroxide in presence of hydrogen peroxide, chiral auxiliary is removed and we are getting the modified substrate. And here in drug we want amide group, so this acidic acid in presence of ammonia DCC, it produces the amide. So this is the structure of levetiracetam. Now what are the good qualities or qualities of the good chiral auxiliary? So it needs to available in both enantiomeric form, either S as well as R form, need to be easy and quick synthesized, must be readily incorporated onto a achiral substrate. It must be readily attached to a achiral substrate. Then it should provide a good level of asymmetric induction leading to high enantiomeric axis. Okay, so whenever we are using chiral auxiliary and whatever the product or whatever the modified substrate we get, so it should be a high enantiomeric axis. It needs to be selectively cleaved from this substrate under the mild condition. That means once prochiral substance it is converted into the modified chiral substrate, that means chirality is already developed in the prochiral substrate. At that time under mild condition we can easily separate out the chiral auxiliary from the modified substrate. And last is it must be recoverable and reusable for economic purpose. Now what is enantiomeric axis? So it is nothing but it is defined as axis of one enantiomer over the other generated in an enantioselective reactions and is usually expressed as a percentage of whole. That means if we are performing any enantioselective reactions, as the output of the reactions, one isomer that is in higher amount compared to another isomer, instead of producing a racemic mixtures or equal amount of isomer. This is called enantiomeric axis. And how we can measure the enantiomeric axis of any reaction? So that means whatever or percentage of R minus S divided by percentage of R plus S into 100. So by these way we can get the enantiomeric axis. Apart from these two methods, chiron approach as well as chiral auxiliary approach, in many reactions we can use these chiral reagents, chiral solvent, chiral solvating agent, chiral auxiliary, chiral catalyst for the asymmetric synthesis. Here one example is there where they have used chiral catalyst, well diethyl zinc in presence of benzaldehyde. By using this chiral catalyst, so they have produced the chirality center at this keto group. and it having a 98% of enantiomer axis. That is 98% of pure. So student, this is all from my side.